This video will be the first turn of the Hippocratic Oath scenario playthrough. So we've set up the game. We've got our soldiers ready to go. We've got the map ready to go. We've done all the setup that we need to from the scenario card, and we're ready to start the game. The game plays in alternating turns between the Axis turn and the Allies turn. And basically all you do is you switch back and forth between those until the game is over. You start with the Axis turn, and there are several steps that you go through every Axis turn, and let's do them now for the very first turn. So the first thing you do is you check bleeding. If any of our soldiers had an injury card that said they were bleeding, they'd have to roll the die, roll the wound die, and if they roll the wound, if they roll the wound symbol, then they would die. But none of our soldiers are bleeding yet, so that's good. So the second thing is we need to remove any pin tokens. If soldiers get pinned down, they put a pin token in the hex, and so these would be removed. But nothing's pinning us down, so that's good. Then we roll for threat. Each soldier rolls one of the soldier dice, and for every star that gets rolled, we add one threat. So let's do that. For this guy, 1. This guy, none. So we take one threat token and put it next to the card. This will form a pool of ever-increasing threat that we will use to power the enemies. We'll go over that in a bit. Okay, the next thing we do is the scenario action. So we look at the scenario card. There's flavor text that gets read the first time the card comes out, and then every turn you do the things that are listed on the card. So the first thing we need to do is draw an Axis card, and if you can pay for it with threat, do so and put it into play. So we'll draw an Axis card. What did we get? We got the SS Squad. The cost is up here in the corner. This card costs 9 threat. So if we had had 9 threat tokens there, we'd spend them and put this SS Squad into play. Luckily, we only have 1, so this squad gets discarded and does not come into play. Then it says to place a tactics token on this card. If there are 6, the soldier that we're trying to save has bled out and the players lose the mission. So we have to get from there down to here before 6 tactics tokens get put on the card, or else he bleeds out and we lose the mission. So we're going to have to hustle to get from there all the way down to here. That's 4. There's 4 hexes. We start in 1, so we need to move 3 times to get down there, and we only have 6 times to do it. So we're going to have to hustle. It's a good thing we have move out ready. And then finally, challenge actions. If a card had come out, then we'd go down this list of challenge actions and do all these things that the challenge puts into place. He'd target somebody. We could use stealth or tactics to avoid it. He'd fire on us and he'd pin us. So it's a good thing he's not up. So that's the Axis turn. We've done all the things there. So we flip the card. And now it's the Allies' turn. The first thing we do is we refresh. We're going to flip any face-down cards back face up. This is the first turn, so we don't have any face-down cards. But as we do the different things on the cards, like for instance, if last turn we had used our recon power, that would have been flipped face down. So at this point, we'd flip it back face up. Then we drain the focus cards. If there are 3 cards in your queue, collect the oldest one. You don't actually do this on the first turn, but the way it works is you've got a focus queue of 3 cards, and every turn they shift over 1 and you get rid of 1, and then you add another one to the end. So you always have these 3 cards out, and they're always shifting off this way. It represents what you're focusing on as a soldier. The first round, you get to pick which ones you want out. So we're not going to do that this first turn. But every turn after that, they slide, one falls off, and then we get to choose whichever one we want out of our soldier deck to put here. And then we play the card, that's putting one there, and then we take actions. Now our soldiers can take any actions that they want by doing whatever it says on the card and then flipping the card over. We can do that in any order. We could start with him. We could do him first. Doesn't matter. He could do 1. He could do 2. Then he could do 2 more. And then he could do the last one if we wanted. You can do them in any order that you want. It's a cooperative game, so there's nothing competitive about it. So you should work together with your team to figure out the best approach. So for me, let's see. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this memento card. I'm going to look at the picture of the girl back home to give myself a reserve of courage. Rally yourself. So I take a rallied token. That allows me to do better on a future challenge roll. Next thing I'm going to do is this soldier is going to move out. He's going to move. Now normally you wouldn't want to do that because there's fog of war. We don't know what's going on. But this guy has the Scout Veteran card. And when he's moving, he does not increase threat. This is pretty powerful. So what he's going to do is he's just going to move into this fog of war hex without reconning it because he's such an excellent scout. He knows what to do. He's not going to incur the penalty that most soldiers would. So we flip over the card. It's a snowy field. Whenever we flip over a card, we look at the threat value and place threat tokens in there equal to the threat value. And now he moves into there. Now normally, when you use move, you get movement tokens based on your movement focus. He's got a movement focus of 1, 2, plus 1 more because bravery acts as a wild card. So he's got a movement focus of 3. You would need 3 movement tokens to move into any hex that would have a 3 there. This one only has 2, so it would only take him 2 movement tokens. So he could collect 3 movement tokens and spend 2 of them to get into there. But because you discard all movement tokens when you move, I can just move directly in there. Sometimes you need to accrue movement tokens to get into difficult situations. Like if I only had a movement focus of 1, it would take me 2 turns to move into there. I'd have to get 1 movement token the first turn, and then the second turn I would get my second movement token and then move in there. So he's moved in there. And now that he's moved, I flip the card. Let's see what he can do. He's going to recon. He does not gain the benefit of not increasing threat when he moves. If he had moved in there, if he had just moved in there without reconning, then this danger token would have meant I would have had to add another danger token here. For every danger token that remains on a hex when you move into there, you need to add that many threat tokens to the pool, which makes enemies come out faster. So that's generally, you don't want to do that. So I'm doing recon. I've got a recon focus of 1, 2, because I have a bravery. And I could use my rally token to roll the rally die as one of those. The rally die has better odds for rolling stars, but I'm just going to do the normal one because I want to hold on to my rally. So I roll as many dice as my focus. I've got a recon focus of 1, 2, so I'm rolling 2 dice. I roll nothing. Normally I would, if I had rolled 2, I could remove 2 threat tokens from that hex, but I did not. So I did not do a good job of reconning that hex. So now I have the decision of whether to go ahead. Oh, so I've used that. I can use my move out. I have the decision to make. I can either go ahead and move and incur that threat, or I can stay there and not. But we need to go help that soldier, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to move out. I get 1, 2 movement tokens. I only need 2 to go in there. So I spend them immediately and go in. And that's pretty much all I can do. These, I could attack a challenge with bravery, but there's no challenges that are susceptible to bravery out, so I can't do that. And this isn't an action, it just gives me this bonus of when I move I don't increase threat. So my soldiers are all out of potential actions, and the allied turn is over. So that's 1 turn, 1 Axis turn and 1 allied turn of no soldier left behind. Thank you for watching.